welcome back to our channel. Tonight we're going to be talking about transgender, nature versus abomination. So those of you who do not know or are not aware or have not been here yet, I'm Cakes. That there is D, the one that's not talking right now. Where's he gone? Firstly, I want to say thank you to all the support that we've been getting from Jamie, Vegan Realist, and Jed Skeptic. That word there, Jed Skeptic. He's great. Both of them have been awesome. Yeah, so big thank you to those guys for all the support they've been giving us the past few weeks, letting us on their channels. We were on Grey Area yesterday and on Vegan Realist Jamie's nightly podcast. Yeah, so I think we'll just dive straight into things. D?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to get some links quickly because
obviously sorry. Oh, well then I'll carry on talking then.
Yeah.
So
you carry on.
Essentially tonight, me and Dee are going to be talking about completely polar opposite opinions on transgender. Oh, I forgot to mention, last week at the end of our stream, we asked everybody to tell us what they want to see next week. So we're going to do the same. What do you want us to talk about next week? You've got 3 choices: veganism, abortion, or technology. I've got hiccups. Drop us a message at the end of the video or on our Instagram or on our Facebook, which are both OneVsOneMe, and we will tally your votes. Cool. D?
Yeah, I will, and again, I will actually put a description in after this video as well with those choices. And yeah, like I said, if you leave a comment in the comment, it will be done. We are here to please.
Hot tea.
Yeah, so I'm just finishing getting these links in. Like I say, my laptop is running as usual slow today. Yeah, that's the links for Brown and Vegan Realist Story and Jed Skeptic Media.
Awesome.
But yeah, obviously tonight's chat, I just want to say, no matter what comes out of my mouth tonight, there is no hate intended. I'm not here to offend. This is my opinion. So yeah, take it or leave it.
Silence is golden. Okay.
But
yeah, cool.
Yeah, so again, I know it's quite a maybe clickbaity title there with the whole nature versus abomination, but I mean the abomination side, I think, is the side I'm coming from, and it's more. Well, it's more. I think society has become an abomination, and because of that, like I say, and because of, I don't know, humanity's sudden need to have labels that they can identify with and stuff. It's easy to warp people's ideas, and I think that's exactly what's happened. I think people's idea of gender has been warped to the point where people think they can be born into the wrong body, basically. And so yeah, for me, it really is. It's that these people, transgenders, to me, they have a mental disorder. I mean, it's, to me, I equate them to the same as these people who go and have like their tongues split down the middle to look like a lizard, and then they have tattooed green and like scales put all over them, and they want to call themselves lizards and stuff. I mean, it's it's that's me mum in chat, Susan. So hello, mum.
Hello,
Sorry,
Mum.
a bit of a surprise. That's kind of thrown me off a stride now. Mum's watching.
Terrible behaviour.
um,
Careful now. I think
I mean, yeah. If you got anything to say,
both
sorry
of
about that.
those. Yeah, I think both of those things that you've just mentioned, the changing your body with the tongue splitting and tattooing yourself green and changing one's gender, I think both of those are an expression of their self. I think we're in a world now where we are able to express how we want it. Like, I have purple hair, I have piercings, and that's just an expression of how I want to be. So could it not then be that transgender is an expression of how a person wants to be?
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's not how transgenders are saying it. They're saying like,
No,
no,
they're
I'm
not.
born into the wrong body. This is what I mean. It's not an expression. It's them thinking that they're in the wrong body and that they can change that by having a doctor mutilate their body to make it look like what they think they feel. Which is again, it's not so. But and then again, that I mean, it almost well, you've got to twist the way you think about that in that kind of situation as well, because obviously then you come into the gay and homosexual, or the homosexual kind of scene and stuff. And with homosexuality, their big argument was it's not a choice. It took them years to get that across to people. It's not a choice. It's not something you choose. Well, if it's just an extension of yourself and blah blah blah, well then again, to me that sounds like it's starting to say it's more of a choice. And it, it's a choice based on a skewed set of logics, as far as I can tell. Go on, I mean, sorry.
I don't think homosexuality is a choice, obviously. But I also, obviously, changing your body to be a different gender is obviously a choice. But I don't think that it's a flippant choice that's made. In most cases, I don't feel like it's a flippant choice that's made. Like, oh yeah, today I've decided to have my hair down. I normally have my hair up. But I feel that if I don't believe that it's a mental disorder, and I feel that if somebody does genuinely feel that they've been born into a different body, then who are people to say no, you can't have this sex change? You know?
Yeah, well, again, no, and yeah, before we get, I'm not trying to stop anyone.
No, I know.
I'll say
Yeah.
it from my point of view. Yeah, if people want to mutilate their bodies and call themselves girls or boys when they were born the opposite, that is up to them. Like, yeah, I mean, and I will fight for their right to do that. But at the same time, I'd expect them to fight for my right to disagree with that choice, that opinion that they have. So again, I think it's very much a two-way street, and it never really seems that way. It always seems like it's like, oh, you're the bigoted person because you won't let somebody express themselves and all this kind of thing. So
well, we were saying not long ago that they can decide that they want to be this way, but you're going to perceive them differently, and you don't decide how other people perceive you. You don't decide how people like react when they see your face. Like, I can't decide what you guys think when you see my face. And I think a lot of the time people who are against transgender don't I've just completely lost my train of thought. But I think that people don't like the fact that it's being pushed on them, or feel as though it's being pushed on them, like, you must accept this, you must accept that. When in reality, the people that I know aren't pushing it on people at all, if that makes sense. That sentence got away from me a lot. But I feel like people focus on this whole transgender agenda. I don't see an agenda. I know you do, but I don't see an agenda at all.
Yeah, well, again, yeah, for me, I mean, the agenda, again, it's a far-reaching thing. This gets into almost every facet we'll ever talk about. I mean, I can't imagine a subject where I won't be saying it's part of the agenda, basically. Yeah. And but no, it is. It's I think it's an agenda to destroy gender, like, and try and make us all the same. And that helps again with centralization of power and everything. It really goes along with any kind of new world order agenda. And again, in a way, it's forcing non-choice in a way.
Is your
because
phone ringing?
No, unfortunately, it's my mate. Trying to. He's a pain in the ass. Yeah, no, it's like I say, it's. No, I've last chucked me off my train of thought now.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, I apologize. Your mum said I talk with a very forced, broken voice.
Could be the connection, to be fair.
Is that what you mean, Susan? Suzanne?
Yeah, and people, like I say,
Chris?
keep, get your comments in. Like, obviously, have your opinion, have your say.
Oh, hang on, your missus has just messaged me. Oh no, I thought she was saying there's an issue with. Yeah, I'll come on to that, Tiff. Don't worry. Don't worry. I will come on to that. Yeah.
I feel
So
left out now.
anyway,
She's not messaging me.
womp, womp. Clearly, she likes me more.
Yeah.
So essentially, I am all for transgender, 100%. If you feel that that's how you want to be, then be that, do that. I personally don't see anything wrong with it at all. Like I don't. As long as it's a well thought out decision, you know.
Again, another thing. Again, I have an issue with. Again, is most of these transgenders, they're not convincing. They don't look like the sex they're trying to portray. And then they're like blaming everyone else for calling them the sex they appear to be, and I know that could very well be a media trick or whatever to set us on sides and stuff. And but
no, I know what you mean though. I one of the transgenders that I have met was a man to a woman, and they still had stubble. They still very much, their face looked masculine. They still looked masculine. So for me, it was very difficult to remember, one, their pronouns, so it didn't like offend them, and two, it's very difficult to call somebody a woman when you're not seeing a woman. So
well, this is it. It's I haven't got any. Right. But yeah, it's like if somebody holds up a colour.
Yeah.
Right. And asks you to say what colour it isn't. Right. It's going to take you longer to say what colour it isn't rather than say what colour it is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's always going to be that break in thought, which again is probably going to come off as offensive to them because you've stumbled, you've paused, and causes that issue. It's very much, I mean, I see it very much as almost like when you have like disabled people around and stuff, and how they're treated different because people don't really know how to approach them and stuff like that, when they should just treat them normally like anyone else. But again, there's a barrier created, especially when it's an unconvincing look. But again, this gets into another side of things where they're trying to push it down. So children, they're trying to say once the children are saying like they want to be another sex, if we do the operations and get them on the drugs early enough before puberty, then that's going to solve the issue and this kind of stuff.
Which I don't agree with. And this is
but see, this is the issue. The parents are getting pressured into it, and usually the parents are already biased towards that way of anyway. And
but so here's a
these
question
children
for
can't
you.
give consent, so they rely on these
No,
adults to give consent to this kind of thing. And
exactly. So
sorry,
if you had a son, because I think it's a lot easier, like with daughters, to be like, oh, okay, they don't want to wear skirts, so yeah, they can wear trousers, you know. But if it was a son, if you had a son and your son wanted to wear dresses, would you allow your son to wear dresses?
see, I never personally, I never would have.
Yeah.
But again, with girls, yeah, it's a lot easier because I had two daughters myself. So, like I say, I've not had to come across the issue with a boy. But yeah, but both my girls were pretty feminine. I mean, they were tomboyish in their actions a lot of the time. But no, certainly that, and they both turned out to be extremely feminine now. And it was a little bit of an issue with my youngest, to be fair. I mean. Especially when she was very young, she was very confused because obviously it was a house of females, like 3-1, like it was because obviously male in the house, and she like wondered when her penis was going to grow and stuff like that. I mean, this is like school, like preschool age kind of thing and stuff. Like, when's my willy going to grow? Right, daddy's, and you know, so there was a bit of confusion there, but it wasn't like, oh, now I want to be a boy kind of thing. But she would, I mean, if that ever did come up, it would usually because she was not being allowed to do something at school that boys were allowed to do or something like that. So it was like she wanted to be a boy to be able to be treated like a boy rather than actually because she thought she was a boy. And I think a lot of that kind of thing will get caught up in younger age people. And again, I mean, 25, 30 years old, you're still not really grown up. So, yo, Jed, how's it going?
Yeah,
it's it's a nightmare. And again, when a parent starts going along with that kind of thing, because back in the day, I mean, me and mum would be, don't be silly, you're a girl. And I mean, nowadays, I imagine like we'd be evil parents for saying that kind of thing, like forcing her to be a girl. But not being funny, we were bloody right because she's no thought of being a man ever since she got like halfway through primary school and figured out the difference between boys and girls kind of thing and stuff. So I mean, yo, Mick, how's it going?
So I know somebody actually. He is 9 years old. I can't tell you who he is.
And
I will tell you later. No, but I would normally, but I you'll find out. So he's how old is he? He's not 9. That's a big fat lie. He would be 12 now. And ever since he was 9, that's what I said, 9, I think 9, I might be wrong, he's been going through hormone blockers and all this and wearing dresses, growing his hair out and everything. And I'm all for transgender, but I do not agree with this because he started this at 9 and I'm still calling him a him because he has not consented. This is an idea in his head because he's 9. You know, there has been a lot of cases where transgenders have changed their gender or started beta blockers, and then at 19, 20 been like, oh shit, I made the wrong choice. So
again, well, you look at the suicide rates among transgenders and stuff, and it's really high, and a lot of that is blamed on bullying and not being accepted. And I don't think that's the case. I truly think it's because they're messed up anyway, and they've changed their sex. It hasn't changed any of the problems they thought it was going to change. It hasn't changed anything in the end that they thought it was going to change. So it's twisted them up, and they've just gone. A bit of audience participation from my mate now. He's starting to get into it.
So Chris has just put, all I've seen lately as well on TV chat shows is should I raise my kids gender neutral? No, obviously not. Like,
yeah, gender.
I get frustrated as a parent with gender specific things. For example, like if my son wanted a baby doll, he could have had one. That's fine, because men are still going to have kids. And I vividly remember my cousin's ex-boyfriend, when they were still together. We were walking past a shop, and we were walking past a charity shop, and my boy saw, he must have been 3, and my boy saw a kid's tea set in the window, and he was like, "Mum, can I have a tea set?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." But Alex, this is his, he's a dick, so I'm going to name him. He's called Alex. We don't like Alex. Alex was like, "No, those are for girls." And I was like, "How dare you? Like, my boyfriend makes me tea more than I make it. I think I've made him 2 cups of coffee since he's lived here, and he's lived here since March." So
yeah, well, no, I was
and
a
color
child.
as well.
Like, I mean, one of my best friends was a girl, and it's like when I went round hers, we did like the girly kind of playing, and when I went out with my mates, we did the boy playing. There wasn't an issue, if you know what I mean. There was none of this. I mean, to be fair, as a boy, you wouldn't let your mates catch you like playing the girly games and stuff, if you know what I mean, because they'd just rip shit out you. I mean, and that was from a very early age. So this is what I mean. Gender can be manipulated, but I think it is set in place like quite early on. You do understand the difference between gender quite early on, and there hasn't been time for that social conditioning that is claimed that that affects people into thinking I need to change sex, basically, because there is, like I say, no time for that to have happened. Like, I mean, they're still like literally by the time you're a couple of years into primary school, I mean, you're pretty sorted with knowing what genders are, if you know what I mean, because you've had time to experience it, and you do notice. I mean, again, I mean, I don't ever like remember my mum forcing boys stuff on me, if you know what I mean. It was the stuff I'd asked for. Stuff like, and I don't remember girls ever getting like, "Hey, no, I got a doll. I wanted that sword." Like, with none of that stuff, if you know what I mean. And so again, I mean, I think it very much girls are geared towards the cutie, fluffy, you know, like nurturing stuff, and the boys are into the I want to smash it, blow it up, and build it, and kind of stuff. I mean, it is, and again, the girls and the boys that they may at some point be curious. Yeah, maybe I'll play with the girls' toys for a little while, and the girl wants to play with the boys' toys for a little while. But again, those things don't always last, and they usually figure out, no, that's actually not for me. I'll go back to the toys that I like. Go back to the toys I like. Bank.
Can't win. Trying to have a serious conversation, and that happens. So somebody said because girls wear trousers and boys plays with the doll, that doesn't mean it's bloody gender neutral or in the wrong body. No, of course not. And that's what irritates me about other parents. Well, you can't play with that because it's girly, or you can't, and it's like a fear that they'll become transgender. I don't think that's the case at all. Like Freddie keeps saying, "Oh, it's pink. I don't want it. It's pink." And we were in the vape shop, and Freddie was like, "Oh, you can't have a pink vape because you're a boy." So Dan bought himself a pink vape. So to kind of like point out, it doesn't matter. It's literally just a color, because doing girly things doesn't.
Bloody enabler! You're gonna turn Freddie into a bloody girly boy.
Because doing girly things or doing masculine things doesn't equate to changing your gender. I mean, I used to climb up trees and hang out with solely blokes when I was boys when I was little. Like we'd always be just sat in a tree or in the woods swinging from rope swings. But I'm definitely still a woman. Dan's oh yeah.
Who says you mean?
So,
but no, again,
and this whole
but it doesn't just come down to, again, the things we play with and that kind of thing. It does come down to them not calling them boys and girls, and trying to use these gender neutral pronouns and stuff as well. And again, that's going to mess a child up, in my opinion, a lot more than giving them their gender identity. Because again, children malleable, and they tend to go with what's popular, and like the most. So if the most popular person is going to be a transgender, like wannabe, if you know what I mean, if that they turn out to be a popular person, then I imagine half the bloody class would want to suddenly be gender neutral and all this kind of thing, and that would have nothing to do with what they actually truly feel, truly want. It's purely because monkey see, monkey do. And again,
well, I mean, is it possible that they could see say Drag Race, RuPaul's Drag Race? I don't watch this at all, but is it then possible that they could see RuPaul's Drag Race, see the drag queens? Now I understand there is a big difference between being a drag queen and being transgender, but could they then see that and be like, that looks like fun, I want that? Because of how impressionable they are. So
hello, Madam Medusa.
Hello, Madame Medusa, and Chris and Jed and everybody else.
Gotta say, Jamie. That he retitled his grey area last night. It was just on screen.
Gary Glitter fan
club. Yeah. No, it was an awesome hangout on Jed's last night. It really was.
It was fun. So yeah. Anyway, coming back to what you said about mental health, did you know the World Health Organization has changed their classification for transgender now, from instead of it being a mental health issue to being a sexual health problem, or sexual health issue, I should say, and that will be recategorized as of, I think it was said the 1st of February. Again, I thought, I remember this date, I won't need to write it down. I was wrong, but it's 2022 that the classification will be changed. Don't quite understand why the classification hasn't been changed already. Why
surely if they want to change it, it can be changed. Yeah, why? Yeah. Again, it's all part of the agenda that I talk about. It really is. It's a complete and utter bullcrap. I mean,
you guys are going to exist. Oh, you're welcome.
Sorry, I'm missing the chat now. Yeah.
You've broken D though, because he's quite hungover. You've broken him.
Yeah.
I have half a co-host right now.
This is the thing I was expecting. Yeah, to be a bit more and awake.
No, I think we should drop the link already. It's earlier than we normally would drop the link. But yeah, I want to hear other people's opinions and what they think of the transgender agenda, or transgender issue, or transgender in general. Whether you're pro.
It's great. Chris Hayes has been contributing awesomely to this chat. So thanks, Chris, man. It's been nice to be seeing your opinion on it. But yeah. I mean, I don't know if you want me to stick the link in the chat then.
I did say drop the link. Drop the link, sorry. And we'll get people on, what they think, their thoughts, their opinions. Nice.
Oh, and
the huckleberry, that's what I got.
Yeah, sorry, just a quick side note, completely change the subject. Yeah, Jamie, no, it is a different link each time you do a show by the looks of it, because I typed this out on my phone to Cakes so that she can join this, and I've got pretty good memory. I may not be able to remember exactly what I've typed before, but I know I type something different each time. So, yeah, I don't know how people are getting into your hangouts without your permission.
Weird.
Yeah, there you go. Anyone?
No worries, Jed. Yeah,
anyone
hop on whenever you're ready. Just ask us to drop the link if it disappears, and we'll redrop it. So yeah, anybody who wants to come on, whether you're for or against, let us know your opinions. If you can't come on, then feel free to type in the chat your opinions, and we will reply to them and read them out and pop them on the screen. I say we. Dee will pop them on the screen. I won't. I can't. I'm on my phone. I don't have the powers.
I am the puppet master.
Yeah. No worries, Chris. That's okay. So yeah. Obviously, Dee is. You're not necessarily. I don't think you're necessarily against it. I just don't think you think it's right.
Yeah,
Would that be more accurate?
Like I say, in an ideal world, I think people would be self-responsible enough to know it's a load of bullshit. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world. And I don't want to be forcing my will onto other people, which is why I say, yeah, I will fight for their right to do what the hell they want with their bodies. As long as they are willing to fight for my right to disagree with them doing that to their bodies. I think it's a good compromise, if you know what I mean. I don't have
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like toleration. This is another thing. Like, well, you're supposed to tolerate. But that's all it is. It doesn't mean you have to accept it. Tolerate is not acceptance. Tolerate is putting up with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so yeah, the very best. That's all you'll get from me is a toleration. I mean, I'm never going to call you like what you expect me to call you. At the very again, I'll call you a human being. But
what if, say, what if you met somebody who was a man but looks exactly like a woman? Would you still call them a man?
Don't get me wrong. If I was convinced, couldn't tell whatsoever, and I'd been tricked, then yeah, very fair enough. You got me. Like, I mean, because again, like you say, what you see is what you say. So what I see is what I'd say, and yeah, because unfortunately for me, it does seem like, especially for the older people, there's no way they can possibly ever become this convincing woman figure that they expect to be.
No.
I mean, even the transgenders you see on the television and stuff, because my girlfriend does watch the television and stuff, and there's a few characters on there, not one of them's even close to being a convincing woman. They just look like they literally look like the 60s where men used to dress up as women. Like there's like they don't look even slightly feminine whatsoever. Just look like drag acts without the glam.
How do you feel about drag acts?
Keep it the fuck away from me. Basically, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my humor. It's all drag acts do is rehash old jokes to make it sexist. It's like drag acts are allowed to be as sexist as they want and say just completely degrading stuff to whoever they want because they're pretending to be dressed up as a woman. And like I said, it's just rehashed jokes. There's nothing original in that at all. It's again, it's just something I'd certainly not want to be involved in. But again, I see it being pushed on the kids. You see on occasionally on Facebook the posts where these drag queens and stuff are going around schools and saying to like little kids, "Who wants to be a drag queen?" And all these little kids are putting their hands up and shit. And of course they are. Like, I mean, fucking there's this fucking glamorous, colourful person in front of them, like who's like fucking hilariously out there and stuff. And I mean, it's messing with kids' minds. It's messing with kids' minds. It really is. And so 18 plus, yeah, no, again, adults do what the hell you want. Stop forcing it on the bloody kids. Like, I mean, no, right, not being funny, yeah. If your kid turned around and said, "Oh, I want to be Jim Jeffries. I want to pretend to be Jim Jeffries," yeah, who's a really like he's a shock comedian. Yeah, his comedian is about trying to offend people. So if he suddenly turned around and said he wanted to do that, would you be like, oh yeah, you go for it? We'll sort that out for next time your school's got a talent show on. You can be Jim Jeffries and you can swear and talk about sex and everything. Like you're a 6-year-old, but that's okay. And to me, it's the same with the drag queen. It's not. You'd turn around and you'd say, fucking no, don't be stupid. You're a child.
I half agree, half don't agree. I mean, I read this thing about this young lad who he's gay, and for his school talent show at 16, his end of year, like kind of leavers assembly, he wanted to do a drag act, and the school was like, no, you're not allowed, no. And I kind of disagree, because he's 16. For him, it was a very innocent show. There was nothing sexual. It was just him putting on makeup, getting all dressed up, and putting on a show for his fellow students. It wasn't seeded, and it was a completely innocent show. And
what was it? Did you know what the content of the show was?
Yes, because like kind of drag queens rallied, and then they ended up filming the performance somewhere on YouTube. And it was completely innocent. He sang a song. I can't for the life of me remember what song it was, but he sung a song. It was a full-length ballroom dress. Yeah, that's right. Ball gown. It's a full-length ball gown. So it wasn't like I said, it wasn't seeded. It was just him having a bit of fun. It appeared completely innocent to me. But Chris has just said drag acts are adult entertainment, and
this is what I totally agree. This is what I mean, and it really is. And again, you say it's non-sexual, and it is because you are changing your sex. So there's no way it can't. This is non-sexual act basically. So.
So Madame Medusa said, "Do you think all toilets should be neutral?" No, I don't. This issue is really difficult for me because there are generally the people, genuinely, not generally, genuinely some people who are literally just transgender. They are very convincing transgenders. They have had all of the changes. They just want to go for a piss. And I don't think if a transgender is a woman, she looks like a woman, she acts like a woman, she's got all the woman parts, I don't think she should then be forced to go into a man's toilet. I don't think that that's fair. Like, I don't think that that's okay. But at the same time, how do you police a toilet? You can't. There's no way to police a toilet. There seems to be only 3 options. Let it live how it is. If you are transgender, you go in your original birth given sex's toilet. The other solution is all toilets are gender neutral, which I don't think would work, especially for religious anxiety and other reasons. And then the third option is having a third toilet for, for people who are transgender or neutrally undisclosed. Huh?
They can just use the disabled.
They could just use the disabled bathroom. There's not always a disabled bathroom though. Or baby changing.
I'm sure they'd find a reason to find that.
I think they would.
Offensive, yeah. I imagine. Oh, what now? Transgender's a disability, is it? I mean,
I think if the disabled bathroom was changed to a special requirement bathroom, I don't think they'd have an issue with that because it is a special requirement. You've still, I especially don't think.
It's not the toilets, to be fair. It's the changing rooms.
Yeah.
That's where my main issue is, and like I say, if we're gonna allow transgenders to be transgenders as a society, we have to account for them. So we are going to have to come up with however many pronouns they decide to allow us to use, they're going to have to come up with that many toilets.
Exactly. And
As simple as
Madam
that.
Medusa,
Yeah.
exactly. She's just put. So, what about women who don't feel at ease? Is that okay that a woman? Blah, blah, is that okay that a woman's feelings should be dismissed? And no, not at all. And that's why it's such a difficult. It's a very difficult situation, because one, if a man is wearing a wig and a man goes into a woman's toilets, he's still a man. Do you know what I mean? He could be saying, "Oh yeah, I'm transgender," but you're still a man. Like, and then that kind of undermines actual, genuine transgenders who just want to live their life and get on with things.
Oh, people always abuse any system. Yeah, any system will be abused.
100%, 100%. But then at the same time, like in schools, this should be a non-issue. You have a penis, you go to the boys. You have a vagina, you go to the girls. Like, it's a non-issue. Children should not be changing their
until I went to secondary school. When we got changed for PE, there was no changing rooms in my primary school. We used to just
Fred
do it
doesn't change.
desk.
Yeah,
Girls, boys, right next to each other. Everyone would just get changed and get dressed. There'd be no issue. There'd be no titter into nothing like that. Literally, it was just saying that everyone did.
If you go in robotic, D.
Oh. Yeah, so it's because Jed just joined and messed us up. Look.
Oh. Cakes, but spaces, changing rooms are based on sex, not gender. That's the purpose. No, and I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, Madame Medusa. That's what I mean. Like, yeah. You're right, Jed. What's going on?
All right, guys. I just feeling a bit hungover. It's one of the worst hangovers I've had after a grey or for a long time. Usually I got quite fresh, but oh man, fuck.
Pussy.
I'm a bit of pussy.
Your voice is clear, but your picture's clear. Just your voice is clear, but your picture is unclear. Just so you know.
Oh, we can't have that. Uh-oh.
What do you mean unclear? Am I looking ugly?
No, you're
can't
very
help that,
like
Jed.
pixelaty, Jed. You're very laggy.
I'm on my phone.
No shit, really.
Yeah, so it'll probably sort itself out in a minute, hopefully. Anyway.
So what you talking about these trannies?
Yeah.
What I find amazing is it's a weird fucking thing. Right, we've got this thing called the Lady Boys of Bangkok. They come to Edinburgh every fucking year. And it's a strange scenario where all these women go to watch men pretending to be women. And if you reverse the roles, if you were to say to your girlfriend, I'm away to watch women pretending to be men, like your girlfriend would be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck are you? Have you got some strange fucking thing you want to tell me about here? I mean, it's all right for all the women to go and watch these fucking men pretending to be women. You know what I mean? It's a weird fucking thing. It is. It's weird. And I've got nothing against these people because they're a very small minority. But because they are a small minority, I don't see why they should be pushing their shit into the schools and stuff. I agree with Dee totally that they shouldn't be pushing it on children. And this
I mean we both agree with the same thing. There. Carry on. I'm just going to turn that off.
I could turn mine off. Maybe it'd be
no. I'm turning it off.
I think Cakes is just blowing her nose and she doesn't want to do it on screen.
But my son comes home and tells me that they're teaching them this kind of about the fucking LGBT. They're teaching them about the transgenders and at school.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can really do about it. You're not there to stop the teachers teaching. And this shit about toilets as well. Like just like Chris said in the chat. Fucking make a disabled. They can go in the disabled toilet then.
Yeah, that's what my boyfriend said. Exactly. No, I and it's an issue because you still have to safeguard the rest of the population. And like Dee said, you're going to get those people who are going to abuse the system. So you still need to safeguard those people from the people who are going to abuse the whole, oh yeah, you're transgender, so you can go into the bathroom. Well, no, because you might not be. You could be fibbing.
The thing is, the transgenders I see nowadays, they just look like fucking ugly men with wigs on, getting at these parades. It'd be different if you were in a fucking toilet and a dude walked up and started doing a piss or whatever, or went into the cubicle and started doing a piss. But they look like a dude. You probably maybe second guess it, but if they were a good tranny, you probably wouldn't fucking question it. Again, if a tranny came into the toilet, if they were a good tranny and they were convincing enough, you probably wouldn't even fucking notice. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's these ones that look like old men with big wigs on, big fucking nose. They look like fucking men try to be women. They can't even dress like women. Like women have got fucking some dressed like some style. Like men can't fucking dress in women's clothes. It's just something that
the shapes
men can't really
as
do.
Well, they have these masculine shapes, like the big broad shoulders. They walk like men still. I mean, like I said,
and that's why, is it almost a non-issue though, D? Does it make it almost a non-issue? Because if they are, sorry, my cat's attached to my keys. If they are a convincing transgender and they have completely changed everything and they look like a woman, you're not going to be standing at the door being like, whoa, now, you've clearly had a sex change, because you wouldn't know.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
If you just keep the rules how they are, then it becomes a non-issue, because anybody who looks like they could be fibbing, telling porkies, who obviously people will be like, whoa, Nelly, this is not the bathroom for you, or this is not the changing area for you.
But who gets to decide that? That who gets to decide?
Exactly.
Again, it's let's say we need to start bringing up responsible people rather than sending them to indoctrination centres to be brainwashed by people that we don't know.
A couple of weeks ago, I took my kids to the soft play area through in Falkirk, and I popped into the toilet for a quick pee, and a girl member of the staff just came into the toilet and started mopping like where I was standing at the urinal. I'm like, the fuck? Are you meant to be in here? You know what I mean? And it's like this is both sexes can come into the toilets to clean it. I says, what if my son was standing there with his dinkle out, and you can just come in and look, or vice versa? What if my daughter was in the other toilet and some dude come in and she's getting her bum changed? Like, what the fuck?
There's no way, is there?
No.
Well, see, this is the thing. When I was at work, the cleaners used to have to close the toilet when they were cleaning it, because obviously it was either a male cleaner or a female cleaner, and they had to clean both toilets. So it would be closed no matter which toilet they were in, whether it's male or female. It would close the toilet. No issue.
Now when you're standing at the urinal, if you have a wee a dribble on the floor, they'll be at your feet. Them up. Like, what the fuck? I was just blown away, and I actually complained at the desk. And the guy went, do you want me to get the manager? I went, oh, just forget it. Fucking fuck your establishment. Fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
But it's fucked up.
The Morrisons by me, because they only have a male attendant, there's like 3 cubicles in the bathroom. They always put a sign on the door and the cleaning sign in front if the man's in there, because they can't lock the toilets. So at least they let you know, so you know, okay, well, I can just wait for this guy to come out of the bathroom before I go pee.
What I don't understand is why all these because they are minorities. Come on, let's get this clear.
Oh, it's huge minority.
They are 0.2% of the fucking population.
There's more vegans.
So, aye. So why is this being pushed so hard? Shouldn't the majority's opinion?
This is again why I say
if you've got a population, shouldn't the majority of the population, shouldn't you be pandering to those people, not pandering to the 0.1%?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me. And why are they doing it?
That's the question. It's the same in every situation. I mean, to bring it to gaming, I remember back in 2014, there was a weapon on a game that I used to use that every scrub in the game was complaining about, saying, "Oh, it's too OP, it's too OP." And instead of the players who played all the time, instead of listening to them and be like, "It's not OP." Overpowered. Yeah, sorry.
Right. Just for the people in the game in the chat.
Sorry, Jed. Yeah, sorry, scrub. So they reduce the power of this weapon to pander to the people who literally only played for a couple of hours a week instead of the people who actually learn how to use the weapon. It's just, you see it all the time with tiny little things. Same with veganism. Like, you guys know I'm vegan. Every single restaurant now has a vegan menu, and small restaurants and independent restaurants are having to change the way they operate because of cross-contamination and everything. And I'm like, mate, I'll just go to a chain restaurant where they have been adapted to cater for everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to go to an independent restaurant just because they've got like 7 different fryers for all of the different like gluten allergies, egg allergies, milk allergies, and etc., etc., etc. So I get what you mean. Get completely what you mean.
That's what baffles me. The fact that there's transgenders in society. That doesn't baffle me. They've been in society for thousands of years. The Romans were aware of the even Gallic people, even the Gaels. They had a ceremony where these people castrated themselves. They actually castrated themselves so they wouldn't be like having sex, and so they couldn't have sex. And they were kind of worshipped, these people, back in the ancient times, apparently.
We've got some gender neutral trees.
Yeah, this is Vlad. That was Vlad.
That wasn't. That was a forest.
But
even the tree I went to visit is like 3,000 years old, and it's a male. You know what I mean? And there's a female beside it, and they pollinate each other. Okay, well, the male pollinates the female, and
yeah.
do you know what I mean? And then it gets berries. You know what I mean? Like, what if there was fucking? It doesn't, like, in nature everywhere. There's a male and a female, and on rare occasions you get hermaphrodites.
Mm-hmm.
That's on very rare occasions.
See, I did have an argument with somebody who was defending his transgender friends, and he tried saying, "Oh, there are some fish that can change their sex, and some reptiles that can change from male to female, and this kind of thing." And so, if animals,
it's pure survival,
why can't we and stuff? And it's like, if humans were supposed to change sex, they wouldn't need to go to a doctor to have them change sex, if you know what I mean. It would be something that we would do. So
it's like a last ditch attempt from nature to survive. Like, I think there was a frog where all in Australia. I think there was a frog in Australia where all the males died off, or all the females died off. One of the sexes of this frog, and it was on the verge of extinction. But it hermaphrodited itself, and it started, like, it could produce a sperm and an egg. And it was just, it's like evolution. It's like its last ditch attempt to save its species, almost. And I don't know why humans have to be like, we're fucking. There's plenty of us, and
see, I think hyenas. Are they're more naturally have a very high hermaphrodite. Apparently, I felt, if not all, they're all like pretty much hermaphroditic.
No, I just heard the females had very large clitori.
Yeah,
so it looked like a male when it was running around.
Oh, it could be then, yeah. But sorry, right. I've kept this up on the screen because there's a question from chat. But are any of you aware of the difference between gender dysphoria and autogynephilia? I hope I've pronounced that right.
Or obviously, the gyna is something to do with vagina, gynecology.
Yeah, again, I've never heard of the autogynephilia. I've only dysphoria. So,
gender dysphoria.
Yeah, I actually don't have a clue, but I thought I'd put that up there just because, again, it was something I don't really know about the second word. So,
well, they're obviously very rare because we've not heard it, and so it's probably a special. It's probably a special time where something hermaphrodites or something like that. Fuck knows. But to me, at the end of the day, it is male and females, and on rare occasions, you get fucking in the middle, the grey area.
The genetic mess ups, basically. Yeah, I mean, because these hermaphrodites, like human hermaphrodites, I think they're all sterile. They're not born to be able to reproduce. So, I mean, surely that's a sign of, like, from nature, if anything. Like, I mean.
But like you were saying earlier, it's not that we hate these people. It's like we tolerate it. We tolerate it, but we just don't like this agenda, like I was saying before, the 0.1%, and they're getting their stuff rammed in their face every day on the news, every day in media. It's like, why? I just didn't understand that. Why these agendas, the medias and the governments are pandering to the smallest minorities, when really they should be pandering to the majority of the population, what they want. And that just baffles me completely.
Well, again, it kind of shows us that we don't really live in a democracy, because democracies cater to the majority.
Hey, Vlad.
Exactly.
Yo, how's it going, Vlad?
Oh,
Vladdy boy,
Vlad doesn't want us to see us.
You're muted, Vlad. You're muted, as Antonio would say. So what time did you get up this morning, D? Did you get up this morning? Was it this afternoon?
Yeah, I first woke up, 1:30 this afternoon. I was awake for a few hours, and I just fell asleep again. And I woke up at 25 to 8, and I'm still not really awake yet, which is why there's not, like I said, I was expecting to be quite like a bit more infused about this hangout, but I'm ready to go back and sleep again now.
I pulled myself out my sack about 10 in the morning, so I only had like 5 hours sleep or something, and then I had a couple of hours sleep this afternoon, from about 4 till 6 or something like that, 4 till 5 or 3 till 5. I had a couple of hours sort of just to refresh, because I remember I said last night I was coming on this. And I have to stick by my word, because I mean, I can't say I'm coming on and no come on. I thought, fuck, I've got the most raging hangover. I need to go on the show. Fuck.
Oh, bless you. Bless you. So you you don't agree at all with trans? Like, how if you met a transgender person, would you try and argue with them? I know a transgender.
My brother-in-law just recently dumped his latest one.
Oh, really?
Aye, and this is what baffles us. Like, my brother-in-law, he's a good-looking guy as well. He's a good-looking guy, and it's just we all of us in the family think he's just confused, because why would he want to go for? At first they said he was gay, and then he started going for trannies. So that's guys that look like women. So if you're gay, you're not meant to be attracted to the same sex, not the opposite.
That's confusing.
And it started confusing us. We're like, to be honest, I think people are just more promiscuous than others and just keep the options open. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll keep my options open. I'll have a guy, I'll have a female, I'll have an animal maybe. Yeah. Have an old granny the next day. I mean, I think some people are just promiscuous, just like animals can be promiscuous. It's like that nature.
This is the thing, and you've got to go look back at some of the studies that have been done into this kind of thing, when it was okay to do studies into this kind of thing. So you got like Kellogg, the guy who came up with Kellogg cereals and all that kind of stuff. There's lots of studies that he did into sexuality. I mean, a lot of it's like thought to be bonkers and stuff, but. And there's a guy I think called Ben Kingsley. He did a load of studies, and then you've got there was a series made about the Masters of Sex, I think it was called, and that was about studies that were done and stuff on sexuality and all this kind of thing. And people really need to go back and look at these, and you will see there is, like you say, Jed, there's this massive scale. Like there's very few people that are 100% straight. There's very few people that are 100% gay, and it's like there's this massive
grey area, grey
area in between.
You plug in.
No, because it's so relevant nowadays. That term, the grey area. Like nowadays, there's no one draws any lines. Everyone's so wishy-washy. Okay, nothing's set in stone nowadays. It's like there's always that grey area. And then it's like when you look at the news, you've got the black is on the news, and you come to alternative media, they're pushing the white. And it's neither. There's always that bit in the middle. Then there's always a third story. And it's like
I quite like the fluidity. Thank you. Fluidity. I still can't parlay. I quite enjoy it. I thrive from not being put in a set box. You know, I was saying yesterday when I was eating a Malteser and I'm supposed to be vegan. Like, I don't want to be this specific thing. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I can't do this because I've said that I'm this. Or that because vegans say that is what that is. I don't like that. leave me alone, you know. But then you'll get all the vegan Nazis that are all like when you was going on about cults last night, I wanted to bring up veganism, but you wouldn't shut up, so I was just like, I'll let you carry on.
Have you say no?
By yous, I mean D. The cult aspect in veganism drives me insane. Like, you can't slip up, you can't have a Malteser. You're not allowed these things, and that bugs me. And as soon as you do, you're shunned. You're like, oh, you're not a real vegan, then get out, leave.
Yeah.
And
that's when you know